9, no more safe spaces. No more trigger warnings. It doesn't help anyone, not even you. All the science says that if you have something bad happen to you, the best thing you can do is controlled exposure, because that way you won't spurg out when you hear about it 10 years later, because you've been insulated from it. Safe spaces aren't just annoying for and inconsiderate for everyone else, they are bad for the sufferer. They are bad for the person who is in pain. Safe spaces are radically unsound, according to everything we know about cognitive science. They're also fucking selfish and irritating, we should get rid of them. And on that point, facts aren't racist. Facts aren't sexist. Facts don't come with... Facts don't come with values attached to them. We should judge people by what they do with those facts, not whether they tell us them or not. Railing against Pepe the Frog is not going to work. Destroying people over bad jokes is not going to work. It just drives more talented, fun, interesting people like you to the alt-right. I don't think the left is going to do any of these things. Without these things, the alt-right is going nowhere. And it does not live or die by Donald Trump. This is a new populist, conservative, and libertarian movement that is going nowhere so long as the left continues to prioritize Muslim feelings over gay lives. So long as the left continues to prioritize the feelings of sociopathic feminist bitches over everybody else. So long as the left continues to claim that you can't take one member of a group as representative of every member of that group, but all straight white men are awful. So long as the left continues to welcome in terrorism to Western countries. So long as the left language polices and nannies and mollycoddles people, tells you what you can say, what you can do, who you can hang out with, what language you can use, what clothes you can wear, how you can do your hair, particularly upsetting for me. Well, I can speak in general terms about it. I'll tell you, by the way, that I've never encountered homophobia except from the progressive left when they find out I'm conservative. You know, all of the places that you're supposed to get it in the neck, people are sweet and kind and generous and wonderful, and Texas in particular. People are lovely. I was having difficulty right at the end of your question, but I think I can give you something that will interest you. When the left tells you people are born this way, that was an invention. We came up with that in the 90s and in the 80s to get at the religious right, who were saying, you know, love the sinner but hate the sin. So the gay lobby were like, well, what if we're like women or blacks? What if we don't have a choice? That makes them bigots. So they came up with this born this way thing, which really has no basis in science at all. All the science suggests that it's a mixture of nature and nurture. My own attitude to this has always been, we are all messy, complicated people. And sometimes we're in pain, and sometimes we're confused, and sometimes we don't know what we want. The progressive left insists that we acknowledge their bizarre, complex ways of describing themselves, their genderqueer, polyamorous, whatever. But if you say you're a gay Catholic, or a gay conservative, suddenly their heads explode. I think if I were to take a straight pill, my career would be over. But I think I probably would, and I'll tell you why. And I've never really heard this from any other gay people, but it always seems very obvious to me. It's not about bigotry or homophobia. Because we could live in a perfect society, and in many ways we pretty much do. You know, where people are not discriminated against on the basis of their sexuality. But for me, and I'm sorry for some of this is going to be TMI for some of you. For me, not being able to create a child with a person you love, you know, while you're loving them, always, you know, I mean, that gets you, you know? Like, you notice that. It's like, that's, oh, okay. And at some point, when I'm tired of triggering special snowflakes on campuses, and... yeah, well, no, thank you. No, look, I do it for you. I do it for you. at some point I'm going to get tired of that, and I might quite like a little Milo. And, you know, under normal mechanics, that's not possible. And for that reason, I think I would take the pill, yeah. And I think it's a fairly... I don't find that, you know, the left, of course, if you have any even slightly nuanced position on your own identity, they will call you self-loathing. Well, I think it's fairly obvious I don't hate myself. I don't hate anything about myself. But that doesn't mean... That doesn't mean that if I didn't think about it carefully, I might not choose a different path. Unfortunately, I think at this stage I'm probably locked in.